it's RetroGamingNow. Now, one of the best features of the original Fate game was the ability to go fishing. Right from the beginning, you can buy a fishing pole, and you can go fishing, which is as simple as throwing the hook in the water and waiting for a bite. But the best thing about fishing wasn't the fish, although the fish were pretty cool. The cool thing about fishing is that you could catch rare items. Now, what's a rare item, do you say? Well, a rare item is something that you can find in a fish sometimes. Caught a fish and found a gleaming rictus in it, and it's an unidentified item with special magical powers. Yeah, somehow that was in a fish. If you identify it, you can see that it's got some crazy things, and it's got a special name, it's got a yellow background, and it sells for quite a bit of cash too. And if we try and sell it, we see it's worth 393,000, which is a lot when you start at level 1. However, the developers were fun enough to add some interesting and crazy rare items and some that are just downright funny. And so that's what this video is going to examine, is my personal picks for the top 10 funniest rare items. Let's get started. Number 10 on the list is the Smile Driver. Yes, with a name like Smile Driver, you can imagine that it's just going to be nice and rainbows. It's like a pile driver, but you smile. Well, if we identify it, it's 20% mana stolen, 20 defense bonus, a 9 damage dealt bonus, and 3 dexterity bonus. Yeah, seems like the user is going to be the only one that's smiling with the Smile Driver. A pretty decent rare item, and it's number 10 on our list. For number 9 on our list, imagine that you just found a Fate statue, and you clicked on it knowing that you were risking a boss fight. Instead, 2 gemstones pop to the ground. You're like, oh yes, finally some gemstones. But what's this, a gem of false hopes? Never heard of that before. Yes, gem of false hopes does absolutely nothing. You can put it in your ring, and it doesn't add any sort of bonus. I think this is kind of funny because the first time I found the Gem of False Hopes, I was pretty excited. You know, rare gemstones are some of my favorite things because they're incredibly rare. And they decided to add a rare quote-unquote item that does absolutely nothing. That's number 9, the Gem of False Hopes. Next up is an item that I personally have only found through fishing. I'm not sure if it's possible to just find it on the floor. But it is Festi's RopeaDope. RopeaDope. First of all, what kind of person is named Festi? But if there's someone to name their belt RopeaDope, it would be someone named Festi. If we identify it, we see, oh no, minus 10 strength penalty, but 15% movement and 40% stamina recovery, and 3 charm magic skill bonus. Yeah, RopeaDope, not great, but it is number 8 on our funniest rare items. Oh, I can't even use it. Next on our list is the Infernal Clogs of the Klutz. Now, with a name like the Infernal Clogs of the Klutz, I can't imagine it's pretty good, but 54 defense does seem alright. Let's go ahead and identify it. Ooh, and it's not great. 25% damage dealt bonus, and 5 critical strike skill, and 3 knockback. But at a 40% attack penalty and a minus 3 dexterity penalty. Infernal Clogs of the Klutz do live up to their name. That 40% attack penalty is going to be pretty ridiculous. Even the damage dealt bonus is not going to counteract that. Number 6 on the list is a type of rare jewelry, a ring called Branston's Naughty Ring of Bling, with an identification level of 100. We go ahead and identify it, and we actually see that Branston's Naughty Ring of Bling is really good. Tons more gold, chance of magical items, recovery, vitality, dexterity. That's crazy. There's a lot of useful stuff coming from Branston's Naughty Ring of Bling. The best part is, it sells for about 700,000, so it's a great way to make some money. But I mean, with a name like Branston's Naughty Ring of Bling, I'll definitely take that, and I think that's one of the funnier names of rare items in the game. While we're on the topic of fishing, how about a rare item that's going to help us out with fishing? The Lobster Fork. Now, obviously the Lobster Fork doesn't work too well if I found it in a fish, but with a name like Lobster Fork, that's definitely a unique rare item. Let's go ahead and see what it does. Not great. Mana stolen and mana recovery and 2 attack magic skill bonus. Honestly, a very mediocre item, but with a name like Lobster Fork, that definitely is going to make up for it for me. Sometimes rare items make you work to figure out what they're supposed to do. But with Cleave's Cloven Cleaver of Cleaving at number 4 on our list, there is no doubt. A whopping 1, 2, 3, 4 C's. Cleave, Cloven Cleaver of Cleaving. I wonder what this is going to do. Well, exactly as you expect, it is a rare item that helps with cleaving. And it is our 4th funniest rare item in the game of Fate. Number 3 on the list of funniest rare items is something I've actually found twice, and I've only ever found it fishing in the town. And I think this one is especially funny because it's actually kind of an Easter egg. And if you've seen it before, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it's a, how should I say, a certain type of food which goes on the head. Yes, I'm talking about Peranto's Cheesehead of the Emerald Bay, with a whopping 1 defense. Yeah, you can imagine my surprise when I found this for the first time. Let's go ahead and see what it does. 75% chance of finding magical items, 100% more gold dropped, but 75% vitality penalty because of all that cheese. Combine that with a single defense, it is just about worthless, but come on, a cheese head in Fate? Yeah, this is one of those most unique items in the game, in the sense that this is actually not based on anything else. This is based on a cleaver, this is based on a trident, this one is completely separate. But it's only number 3 on the list. Number 2 on the list is pretty funny if you find it when you're fishing, because it says you have found a tap-tap in a fish. A tap-tap? What's a tap-tap? Well, that's a tap-tap. Oh yes, this massive slow mace is a tap-tap. 94 strength, 10% damage taken reduced, and damage reflected. This massive thing is exactly what you want when you want to give a little tap on the shoulder to somebody. Tap tap. That's number 2 on our list. And now, for the funniest rare item in the game. This is another item that I think would be classified as an Easter egg. This is one I actually haven't found in a live playthrough, and part of that is because it only exists in the expansion pack. So after the original Fate game was released, they released an expansion pack which added some extra stuff. And it added Auntie's Gift. Defense 25, and I don't think I even need to say what it is. It's bunny ears, yeah? Well, it's not that good, of course, but I mean, it's bunny ears. This is probably even funnier than the cheesehead. And I have to tell you, the best thing about it is, when you try and sell it, normally rare items sell for a lot. So for example, Piranha's cheesehead sells for 400,000, 130,000, 95,000, 400,000, 4,000. Yes, I think it's really humorous that they decided to make one of the rarest items in the game sell for $4,000. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my top 10 funniest rare items. I hope to do more videos like this in the future. Feel free to drop a like below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. This is RetroGamingNow with the top 10 funniest rare items.